letter A. A has an A value of 4, and it's x minus 2, and then a plus 1. So I'm going to state what the transformations are. The first transformation is you have a vertical stretch by a factor of 4. That's the numerator. You also have a horizontal movement. That's going to be 2 places to the right. Remember, it's opposite whenever it's with the x value. So 2 units to the right. And then, guys, remember that whole number is your up and down movement. That's a plus 1, so the graph went up 1 unit. And just real quick, we're going to just review x and y intercepts. You are going to have to find these because remember, it's all about the blanks, not about the graph. So for the x-intercept, you are always solving. When I ask you to find the x-intercept, you're always going to have to solve for x. Remember, y equals 0. For your y-intercept, it's a lot easier. Your y-intercept is just order of operations. And remember, x equals 0 on that column. So to find the x-intercept for part A, we're going to let y equal 0. So guys, I'm going to write pretty tiny in this spot right here. I'm going to solve for the x-intercept. So 0 is going to equal 4 over x minus 2 plus 1. All right, here we go, guys. We're solving for x. So I'm going to go ahead and move this positive 1 to the other side. And we're going to get 4 over x minus 2. And guys, y'all can't solve for x when it's in the denominator, right, Louise? So we're going to have to get it out of the denominator. We're going to wipe out the fraction altogether. So the way that we are going to wipe out the fraction is we're going to make both of them a fraction and do the butterfly method. So if you guys know the butterfly method, you multiply the top of one by the bottom of the other one. So we are going to have a positive 1 times the 4, which of course is just a 4. I'm going to continue my work over here. And then this is going to be negative 1 times x minus 2. You guys don't forget that you have to change the sign for both of these. So when you distribute the negative, it is a negative x plus 2. And now you're ready to solve. So I'm going to move the 2, this 2 right here to the other side. So if 2 equals a negative x, then a positive x is going to equal a negative 2. So the x-intercept for part A is negative 2, 0. So remember, you're solving, and we're going to use the crisscross butterfly method. This is going to turn into 4 divided by negative 2 plus 1. So y is going to be a negative 2 plus 1, so your y-intercept is 0, negative 1. And guys, I'm going to skip B. It's similar to A. I'm going to go to C. Let's talk about C. All right, so to start off with C, let's list all the transformations. First of all, on C, guys, you have a vertical reflection. And I know it's a vertical reflection because that 3 is negative. But remember, that 3 also stands for something. You also have a vertical stretch. And remember, it's by a factor of 3. And then we have one more, guys. This graph has been slid up 6 places from the parent function. Okay. Excuse me. All right, so remember, for the x-intercept, we're solving here. So remember, the y value is 0. So f of x is going to get a 0, and this is going to just be copying the rest of the problem. And remember, you cannot solve for x when it's in the denominator, so we're going to make both sides a fraction. So I'm going to move this 6 over. And to crisscross, we need to make that whole number a fraction, so just put it over 1. And then we're just going to cross multiply. So a 1 times a -3. That's going to be a -3. I'm going to recopy the equal sign, and now I'm going to multiply the other two terms together. And that's going to be a -6 times x. You guys just saw for x. So we're going to divide both sides by a -6. So our x-intercept is a +1/2. Remember, for the y-intercept, you let x be 0, but not here. You won't have an x-intercept here. I'm sorry, you won't have a y-intercept here. Why not?
Because the denominator is 0.
So we need to write none. Because, remember, x cannot equal 0. That is correct.